Hello, welcome to Mountain Gym Card Collectibles. I hope you're having a great week so far. Hope you're getting everything you want for collectibles. Anyway, today I want to talk about something that's really been bothering me for the last, I'd say half a year, 7 months. And that has to do with selling, kind of low-end cards on eBay. Just kind of the bread and butter of sports cards or trading cards, whatever, $3, $2, $1 cards, that sort of price range. And a lot of card sellers used to sell a lot of those cards on eBay. And I used to sell a lot of cards, $1, $2, $3 cards, typically daily on eBay. And then around, November 1st of 2024, it's almost like eBay just took a key and shut down my store. It wasn't just me either. I was kind of struggling before that with those sales, but they were keeping up. And I'm not sure what eBay did with their algorithm on November 1st of 2024, but it really just tanked my store. To where I had to start looking for alternatives. And my alternative to make up for those lost sales, strangely enough, is live selling. And I enjoy live selling on Whatnot. And I'm always surprised at how many sales I can get on Whatnot just selling low-end cards, just for one sale I have on Whatnot in comparison to what's going on with eBay. And I go, well, why aren't they buying these cards on eBay anymore? And it really took me a while to figure it out of what's going on here. Why aren't the buyers hanging out at eBay? Why are there so many sellers, big name, eBay sellers leaving eBay, such as really the biggest one would be Burbank Sports Cards. I know Probstein123 is planning on leaving too and creating his own live selling platform. Yeah, they still have some big fish, DC Sports 87, ComC, Greg Morris Cards. I don't know what's going on with Greg Morris Cards. And I'm sure that eBay is comfortable with, having these card sellers on their platform. But the issue that I have with the eBay model of selling is they really seem to want to get money more from sellers than buyers, in my opinion. It's almost like the CEO, the corporate board of eBay just goes, oh, sales are down? No, we don't have to worry. Why? Oh, we can just milk our sellers to death, by charging them, overcharging them for the sales, charging them for more sales slots per month with their stores, charging them for this, charging them for that. And I'm sure that's the big reason why Burbank Sports Cards left. That's another reason why I understand why Probstein123 is likely leaving. It's this constant, backdoor charging, by eBay. And then you always have on eBay, they're always just trying to milk more and more money out of their sellers by, I'm always getting stuff on eBay. Come to this sale, and it's just like, I'm a seller. I'm not going to go to your live sales on eBay. I have to do live sales elsewhere, So I get tired of them always trying to sell me everything under the sun. It's just like, I just imagine a corporate board at eBay, lazy as can be, not worried about finances. Oh, we can just milk our sellers even though the buyers aren't coming on the platform anymore. And that's the way I view eBay. And I've always been a big fan of eBay. They've really, pushed us into this kind of online selling platform, eBay, Amazon. But, when you do online sales and you're getting as many online sales on a live platform an hour and a half as you get on a month on eBay with all of eBay's BS, you start to really go, is it even worthwhile selling on eBay? I have been pulling listing after listing off of my eBay platform, store, so I can have a lot of stuff to show my whatnot programs. Because that's what it takes. You have to have, quite a bit of product to do live sales. But the thing about, live selling on whatnot is you get people who follow you. You have people who just like to hang out, watch you sell stuff. You have people who will buy stuff, and they'll continue to keep buying stuff from you, during that sale. I just tend to believe that eBay is an old, lazy, tired reselling platform that only rewards unicorns. Unicorns, especially on YouTube, who like to hype it up how great it is. I watch one guy, he's got like 70,000 listings. How he affords that, I don't know. He's always, I got $500 in sales today, $300 in sales today. But let's be honest here. Most sellers can't do that. And it gets to be ridiculous telling yourself, I'm going to get advice from some guy who has 70,000 items on eBay. It doesn't do any bit of good for anybody. It really doesn't. And you think about the poor guy listing all that stuff, 70,000 items. I'd rather try and sell 70,000 items on whatnot. Why? Because you don't have to list near as much information. I just would do random auction sale number 1, market sold, move random auction sale number 2, and it's just so much easier to move stuff on live selling. And I believe that the buyers have migrated over to live selling as well. Why is that? Well, it's more personal. It's more like going to a card shop. I know everyone on YouTube, a lot of people like to just, rattle Pokemon. I like to call him like he's the policeman. He's the back the blue guy of whatnot. But wouldn't that suck to be that guy? I'd rather be a seller than have to be the policeman of whatnot. And I know that rattle Pokemon. I follow him. I like to watch him, but he's really dead set on taking whatnot down. Taking the whole platform down for a few bad apples. Let's get rid of the whole crop for a few bad apples. And it's hard to dismiss. I'm not sure if he's a big eBay seller, because he typically will say, go here, go there, anything but whatnot. But the buyers aren't listening to rattle Pokemon, and neither are the sellers, because more and more I see just more people doing it. And I understand why. I mean, it's fun. It's fun to get on whatnot and get sales, and I have to do it, like playing the pay-to-play game at eBay. I'm not sure about eBay's business model, but in my opinion, it's going to start really tanking in this next 5 to 10 years. Why is that? I don't know. I mean, to me, they're just kind of sleeping in bed, not worrying about, all the competition creeping up on them. Here I am just kind of looking at the chart for raw card sales, for the past 2 years. We can see, and that's eBay for it. They typically don't have the most accurate charts. Big surprise at eBay on the lazy people at eBay. I mean, what do they care about? We don't have to worry about sales. We can just keep charging our sellers more. You got to pay for this. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for this. You got to pay for that. So here we can see, for raw card sales. There's just raw card sales. Average sold price $32.17. So a lot of these are just dollar cards. For one reason, on November 6, 2023, the average sold price was $86.25. It'd be nice if eBay would let us get, more numbers with volume for sales volume over just average sold price and kind of the heights of that. And to me, they game the system and try to hide that as well. So people moving away from buying their dollar cards on eBay and buying their dollar cards, $2 cards, $3 cards, lower end cards on live selling platforms. Why is that? Well, I think it just has to do more with a lot of the sales I get, like on Whatnot, is I'll pick up a sale, and then the same buyer will keep buying more and more cards, and it's just me and that one buyer, like in that sale, and that's all the sales I got for that show, Sometimes I know that happens on eBay. Sometimes that has happened on my eBay stores. That was kind of a norm there for a while, but I'm telling you, this thing that eBay did beginning on November 1st, 2024, they changed the algorithm so dramatically. I mean, like my sales now, I sell more. It's just crazy. I sell just like Funkos, Hot Wheels, collectible toys more on eBay now than I do sports cards, and I just go, what is going on? I've been selling a lot of Funkos, toys, you name it, on eBay. I've been doing pretty good with that, but my card sales have just fallen off a cliff. I'm just like, so all my low-end card sales, I have to roll on over to Whatnot, and that's where I really start pushing my low-end card sales, for the, just $1, $2, $3 cards for the most part. Yeah, $4 up there above, whatever, But that's where I have to go to do my low-end card sales now, because if I post them up on eBay, they just sit there and dry out like a piece of beef jerky. It's just like they don't even get hardly any views anymore. So I really wonder, I know that eBay's really pushing this flawed idea of making everyone promote their listings. Like, it's just such a flawed idea, I mean, and I think a lot of the sellers, a lot of the buyers have caught on to it and gone, we're just not going to put up with it anymore. So, in regards to live selling platforms, I know that Burbank Sports Cards moved to, like the Fanatics selling platform for their cards for the most part, and they have their own website. Their prices are a little bit high for me, I typically look elsewhere, and these are just Whatnot alternatives that I pulled up, but the reality is we're kind of moving into a world of online live selling more than static selling at this point, for one reason or another. I sit and scratch my head and go, well, there's a part of me that prefers the eBay selling to an extent. Why? Well, for one thing, I prefer the way that eBay does its bookkeeping, for your sales as a seller. To be honest, when I do the bookkeeping at Whatnot for my sales, it is a nightmare. I don't know why they can't get their books, easier for sellers at Whatnot. So that's something to consider as well. But I know that, just watching YouTubers, I know a lot of YouTubers are kind of moving away from eBay at this point. And I think it's like I said, there's a lot of reasons to move away from eBay at this point. Yeah, if you're getting some sales, like these big sellers, hey, you got 70,000 listings, you're paying, out, who knows how much you're paying eBay just to get those 70,000 listings, and then you have to make a profit on top of that, I mean, I think that's great, but, if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of money and you can't afford, all the gamesmanship on eBay to pay to list 70,000 listings, well, you know what? The thing about Whatnot is they are earning their income the old-fashioned way. What you would go, well, what do I mean? Well, they're earning their income from sales. They're not earning most of their income from gaming sellers, milking them for, the endless fees. I call eBay fee bay because of that, because they just keep cranking up their fees almost daily anymore, to the point to where when you sell something, you're just getting such a ridiculously low amount for it anymore. You start going, what am I doing here? So I almost feel like, this big tower of reselling, known as eBay, is allowing themselves to die, because they don't seem to want to change. They don't seem to want to earn their money the old-fashioned way, which is strictly from sales. I just imagine the CEO of eBay sitting up in his, ivory tower with the board going, oh, we don't have to worry about a thing here at eBay, guys. Why? We have all these sellers. We can just make these sellers pay us over having, big sales, big sale months. Prove me wrong, especially when you start to see what's going on the live selling platforms, And, as a buyer, I can understand why I would prefer to go to Whatnot over eBay. Why is that? Well, once again, it's that kind of, it's like going to a card shop or going to a bazaar, where you're interacting with your sellers, you're asking sellers, for certain cards or collectibles, whatever. And it's just so much more fun and interactive than going to the cold site known as eBay, dealing with all of the eBay drama. Whether you're a buyer or a seller, the eBay, milking of the system endlessly. I almost feel like eBay abuses their sellers to an extent by the constant gaming, whether it's the endless fees, whether it's the endless pay-to-play ideology, whether it is the endless, we're just a lazy company, all we have to do is milk our sellers because we're not even getting buyers on our platform anymore. And I know this episode, if anyone watches it, I don't get a lot of views lately anymore, probably because YouTube's probably tanking my algorithm. I mean, that seems to be my life of everyone tanking, my shows, whatever. So that's just it about these dollar cards, not moving on eBay anymore. $1, $2, $3 cards. It's like, and then you have these big sellers, and it's almost like eBay doesn't care. It's like, you guys are losing all your big card sellers, they're moving on. I'm moving on to an extent. I'm still selling stuff, on eBay. I'm still putting out offers daily, but I'm selling more just collectibles over sports cards, trading cards, TCG, whatever. And that's never been the case, on eBay. And I'm just wondering why. And I believe I hit on a lot of the reasons why that's occurring. Their big algorithm change, their big push, for sellers to buy into this ridiculous, ideology of buying more and more slots or promotions through eBay to get your listing up higher than everybody else's. It's just such a joke. It's such a joke because you don't have to do any of that live selling. You don't have to, spend 2 years entering all the information on a trading card on Whatnot or some live selling platform. It's just so much easier. And the fact that you can go to any of these places and not get endlessly gamed like eBay does to their sellers, And so what is the future of eBay? That's just it. Where is eBay going to end up after all is said and done? They're losing sellers, and they're gaming sellers to try and make up for the lost profits. Their stock is down. A lot of, most recently, it's basically a no buy. I can understand why. eBay got lazy. eBay decided to just sit there, game the system rather than do it the honest way. And what's the honest way? Strangely enough, I point out Whatnot. Yeah, Whatnot has all the drama. You get all these live sellers on there doing their stupid stuff. You got, Rattle Pokemon, Dan the Card Man, reporting to no end on some stupid idiot on Whatnot doing some strange, crazy thing, snorting lines, whatever, But maybe that's an issue with live selling is you get the ugliness more than eBay. eBay likes to, basically make themselves out to be something they're not. Maybe the platform looks good, but when you're a seller, it's just like, come on, guys, I'd like to do some work here without having to pay you guys to put my listings on your platform for sales. I mean, it makes so much sense, to where I could go ahead, just the other day on Whatnot, for instance, I showed 500 cards in a sitting. It was 500 cards. You have to pay money on eBay, if you want to do that every month. I just did it for an hour sitting. eBay is becoming a joke. And I'm expecting eBay to almost be on life support, dead within 10 years. Yeah, that's how far I expect it to go with this live selling. Unless they get their act together and start to treat sellers, decently, more fair. Anyway, if you have any different opinions on how these low-end card sales have tanked on eBay, if you're one of these sellers where your low-end card sales have tanked on eBay, maybe you're starting to sell a bunch of other stuff over your cards, you're asking questions, and then you're kind of like me. It's just like, well, I guess if I want to move cards, I got to do live selling. So anyway, if you have any opinions on this, leave some comments. Thank you to my subscriber base and my recent subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe so I don't have to continue doing, free community service for the billion-dollar corporation known as Google and YouTube. And I can also improve the channel. Anyway, I'm out of here. Bye.